Hi everyone, it's Sue here from Scrappy Doo Sue. Hope everyone's doing okay. Thanks for joining me today. I have in a playlist for mini journal items that I've made in the past, such as mini paper clips, which are these, mini envelopes. I've made some mini envelopes, so mini clusters. So there's lots of things I made that are all mini. So there's a different style of envelope, and it's another bee themed one, another cluster. Yeah, so there's quite a few bits that I feel now it's time to make a little mini journal to put them all in. So I'm going to put those all down there. Right. So what I've done is I've got some of this thick card in my stash, and I've cut out a front and a back cover, and mine are 3.5 inches wide. No, 3 inches wide, 4.5 inches tall, which in centimetres, excuse me, in centimetres is 7.5 centimetres wide and just a click over 11.5 centimetres tall. So then I've made a spine which is 1 inch, or in centimetres is 2.5 centimetres. And what I'm going to do is, this is going to be my cover. So what I want to do now is attach the spine to the front and back cover, and I've got some of this sort of packaging tape from Hobbycraft in the UK. I can't remember what it's called actually. It might be just sort of brown sticky tape really, but it's quite strong. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece, and I'm going to lay that down on my desk like so, and I'm going to take my spine, and this is going to be taller than the spine, and I'm going to stick the spine onto that side, and then leaving a gap of I don't know, whatever you think, just so that you have got that movement there for bending. So I've left a gap of, let's see, let me just see what that actually is in centimetres. That's about 1/2 centimetre. So that's one side. Then I'm going to take another piece. I'm not measuring it. I've got a bit of a scratchy throat today. I really apologise for coughing. And I'm just going to lay it down there, and I'm going to overlap that one like so. And then I'm going to move it down a bit, overlap that one, and then I'm going to lay this down roughly, and I'm only eyeballing mine, roughly like that. So that is going to be our little spined journal. Okay, so then what we'll need to do is trim off these edges first. I think my scissors have had enough. They're protesting about sticky things being cut with them, and I did clean them the other day, but they've got a bit gunky again, as scissors do, so we're always using them for all sorts, aren't we? So I'm then going to take a piece, and I'm going to just lay that down across the inside, and kind of use the bottom, I think, as a guide, and stick that down as evenly as I can. So that it covers the inside as well. And then we can just fold that piece back over there to give that a bit of extra strength. Or just trim this side off. Just excuse Alexa, she seems to want to keep butting in today. So that is our spine. I think I'm going to have the foldy bit inside. Scott, sorry. sorry, honestly. Oh, right. I've got this, I've had this in my stash. It's 12 by 12. It's Country Flowers, and it's actually 250 gram, so it's quite thick. So I'm wondering whether I can actually take a piece of this and fold it. So it's double-sided, so I'm just looking for a side that I like. That's quite pretty. Sort of a wood background there. That's very pretty, that green. Quite like that one. It's very big. My desk, I just have to move my glue. The desk is not as big as this pad, really. Not the available space. So then we go back, I think, to the same side. So now this is where I fall down on deciding what I need to do for the cover. I think I'm going to go for this green and hope that this is going to actually work out. Okay, well, that's the inside. Now let's just see. So we want to cut this down, so I'm going to kind of allow a rough inch either side of mine. So I don't want too much bulk, so I'm going to mark it there, and I'm going to also mark it about here. So I've marked it there, and I've marked it there, and I'm going to cut that out. Oh my goodness. I had a terrible night's sleep last night. I went to bed very late for me. I was watching a series called Sanditon, which is a period. It's actually based on a Jane Austen book, and I just could not stop watching it. I'm just looking for my mark at the top, which I now can't see. Okay, let's go for I can see the one on the side, which is there. So we'll cut that one first. Yes, so because I was watching that, I didn't go to bed until late for me. My husband's away at the moment, so it was just me and Paddy Dog. And I think he was grumpy because I'm going to remark this. A bit grumpy because he likes to go to bed early. Well, in the week we normally go to bed at, oh there it is, we normally go to bed at 9 because we're both up early. My husband and I were usually up at 6. So yeah, so I went to bed late. That's number one. And then do you know what? I've just realised something. I just realised that I don't know if that's direct. No, it isn't actually directional. No, it isn't. Oh, phew. It isn't, thank goodness. I thought it was for a second and I hadn't noticed. Okay, so that is our cover, we hope. So, first thing we're going to do is cut the corners because we don't want all that bulk. So, we need to position it where we want it. So I think I'll stick the cover down first and then cut the corners. So I'm just going to use some Beacon 3-in-1 and I'm going to spread that over there like so. This always works for me. And then kind of line it up with my mat, really. Sort of about there. So that's that side. Yes, that's sort of got me off to a bad start today. So we'll now do the spine. So again, I'm just putting glue on this spine and a bit down that seam there. we want to fold it so that we can fold it. So then we're going to do the same that side. Okay, so that we know we've got that fold there, and that's perfect. So just give that a burnish, and then do this side. So I'm just putting some down the back of the cover. Excuse the banging, someone's doing something outside, I don't know what. There's always somebody doing something here where I live. Just pop that lid on. So I want to make sure it can fold. Just make sure you've got your folds there for your spine. Okay, so that's the start of it. Now you can do one or two things. You can just, if you wanted, you could just cut it down there, and there, and that would be fine. I'm going to attempt to bend it over if it doesn't work out. So I'm just going to do a curve like that across the corner of that one, and the same here, and repeat it at the top. Takes the bulk out. Now if this doesn't work, I'm just going to cut it down like I just said. They might make nice little tucks. Never throw anything away. So let's see how this works out. Now that's my right way up. So I'm going to bend that over there like so. And I'm going to bend that there. So far so good. Now, in order to bend here and here, you're going to need to cut. So what I do is take my ruler where my fold is. I'm just going to kind of draw a line in the middle of the fold, either end, twice, and then I'm just going to literally cut down that. Like so. Like so. So hopefully that will bend up. So we'll leave that to the end because we may have to take a little bit off either side, so it could interfere with the folding. So the next thing I want to do is fold this up here, like so. So when I know it works, I'll burnish it just to get it flat, like that. So I'm going to start sticking them down. I'm sticking this one down, and I'm putting a thin seam of glue down there, in between the edge of the cover and the edge of the back cover, if you know what I mean. The paper, what I'm saying, it's trying to say anyway, is the paper and the actual cover. So just give that a squish and rub off any excess glue, and then we're going to fold this one up like so. I'll do the same. So you're just putting a thin bead. I'm not putting a lot of this glue on, believe it or not, and I always wipe off the excess immediately, but it does rub off very easily. So and then we're folding this side in and giving that a burnish. Thin bead down there between the paper and the cover. Like so. Oh, that side is pinged up. I thought that might happen because it's heavier paper. That should be okay now. We'll keep an eye on it. Just checking that folds okay in there. Yes, it's not anywhere near the bend. Okay, so we put this side down first. You can fold it whatever way you want. It's a bit like folding a present, isn't it? You know, the wrapping paper. My husband always wraps up presents for me, especially at Christmas, because I'm not too keen on doing it. The daughter makes a lovely job. Both of them do. They take a lot of time. But when you've got a lot to wrap up, I get bored with it. I'm just going to snip a little bit off here, off this side here, of the actual back cover. So just a slither, if I can get my scissors in, like so, and hold that down. And then let's just cut that one before we put the glue on this time. So it's just a slither like that, really, whatever you think. So this is how I do mine anyway. There are no rules. Do it how you want to do it. Whatever works best for you is the way to go. Right, okay. That's fine. We're going to cover it inside anyway, so now we need to, so what I like to do is just cut a sort of, I'm just going to get my smaller scissors. Just cutting a sort of a little tiny thin triangular piece off there, just to make that fit into there. So I mean, I just eyeball it, but I do like it to be a bit even looking. So we'll do the same this side. So we're just taking a little bit off there, little triangles, and one this side, checking that that doesn't interfere with the spine, the folding, like so. And then we're going to stick those down. Now you can cover yours with whatever you've got. You can cover it with tissue paper, with fabric, digital paper, you know, anything, coffee dyed paper, book pages, anything you have at all. So that's mine. And I'm going to be covering my spine, so I'm not too worried about that little dent there. And I'm going to cover the inside as well. So what I'm going to do is have a look at the back of this. Now, do I like this enough to, so usually try and make them coordinating, don't they? But I'm not too keen on that. So I've got to find another piece now to actually put on the inside. I'll just put a lid on my glue. So here we go again. So we've got green. So these are not going to, I don't want it too, you know, bright and breezy, I guess. So quite like this wood effect. That's quite nice. That's a possibility. Plain pink. So I've got two of each. So I don't know if I've used any of this. I can't remember. So I'm just going to go through it and check, because there might be a page missing. Because it's pink and green, I think I've got quite like to use that wood effect one, I think. This one, we've got 2 of these, so what I thought I'd do is cut the panel out, so this pinky one here, maybe, and then cut the same one out of the other side. Where is it? We had 2, I think. So unfortunately I need 2 sheets. There it is. 2 sheets. There. And I'm going to cut, I think, so let's have a look. If we want that piece, it may just fit, so let me just see if I can only get away with 1 square of it. And we'll see. Okay. Right, let's see. So I want it covering, it's not quite big enough to cover 2 sides. So I think I'm going to use that side here. So I'm going to cut it on the guillotine now. So there won't be any waste because I keep these bits. They're always handy for making tags and cards. So I think I want it that way round. And so I'm just going to mark it with a pencil. I have about two or three pencils out all together at the moment, so I kind of want it about there, I think. So that will fit nicely there. Now what I'm going to do is put some material over in a second, a strip of material, I think. That will be nice, don't you? So I want it about there. So I'm just eyeballing. You can measure if you want. If you want to do this similar project. So that is my piece to go there. And then I want, do we want a matching piece or do we want... yeah, I think I want a matching piece. So I'm going to cut this one out. So again, I need this back and line that up. A good way to use up scrapbook pads that you've had a long time, like me. So now I'm just going to get the guillotine back over, and I'm going to mark this where I want to cut it there. I'm going to cut it on the line, and I'm going to cut it there. So hopefully, let's just leave that there for a second and I check. Now, which was my original? That one. And this one is a tad taller. So, otherwise they're okay. I just want to take that much off. Right, okay. Now let's see what this looks like. I'm pleased with that. So I think what I'll do is go and get a strip of fabric, because I didn't get that out. And we're going to stick those down. Right, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, I'm back. So I found this kind of ribbon, which I'm going to stick down there because I think that's perfect. Well, I'm just going to cut that down. Like so. Okay, and then I'm going to stick it down first, I decided. I think it will work better with the spine, so I kind of want to make sure I stick it evenly across. So I'm going to maybe I'll use the art glitter and see if that will stick it down. Yeah, let's try it anyway. So I'm going to glue the spine. I can always go around the edges if it doesn't work. I don't think there's a right or a wrong, so I'm going to gauge it there, like so. I'll give that a stick down, and then I need to glue it, I think, with the cover up kind of thing. Like so, and just all I'm doing is creasing that along there, like so. This dries up clear, this glue, whereas the Beacon 3-in-1 will probably come through and not dry up. It will show, if you know what I mean. So let's do the same with this side. Give that a crease. So there is my cover for my spine, and then I'm going to lay down on top of there, not me lay down, but these, mat them is the word I think I'm looking for. So I want to make sure that isn't going to interfere, but it's over there, so it keeps that down like that. So I will use this. Now if you want to round the corners of your pieces, then fine. I'm not going to do that today. So I want to kind of get that crease visible so I can mat it so that it's over that, like so, and then that will stay. This won't move then. I'll do the same with this side. And again, I'm just going to find that crease and make sure that's over there and it's roughly even all the way round. Right, although you're not going to see both the back and the front at the same time really. And I just want to make sure that that looks the same. So So we're going to have to wait for that to dry, I think, before we do any more. Okay, right. So the next thing we need to do is find some papers for the signature. That's a very neat little, lovely little book, I think. That's the right way up, like that. So I must remember the longest, which I will cut these off, but I'm just waiting for it to dry now. Okay, so I will be back with the signatures. Right, I'm back. So that looks like it's dried now, so I'm very pleased with the way that's turned out. So I think we've got room for 2 small signatures, so nothing too heavy, because obviously we'd be embellishing them. I'd rather do 2 than just 1 on its own. So I'll put that to one side. Now I've got various papers here, a whole pile of bits. This is nice because it's got some nice oak leaves on one side, and I think if I do 2 signatures, I think let's have a look. So we'll start with this one. We've got scraps and all sorts, so let's just start. See if I can get this in my guillotine. Take this edge off. I don't want to make this too long, so I may divide this into 2 parts. We'll see, or even 3. So I'm just going to gently fold it. Well, I'm folding it anyway, so let's fold it, because then we can get it into the guillotine and cut this off. So we may have to cut it down anyway, probably. But if I'm going to have 2 signatures, I can have a piece in each signature. So let's see. So I'm just going to cut that now on the fold line like so. Okay, and see how that fits with our cover. So this is nice because it's double-sided. So let's have a look. Okay, so that needs a little bit off, or what I can do is fold that in like so, and fold that in. We could add some pages onto the end of that. So it's not going to be too wide now, but it's going to be too tall. So I need to take, I think, the top off. So this is how I prepare my papers. We'll just do 1 signature on camera, and I'll do the rest off camera. Just want to give anybody who's not sure how I do mine. I don't think there's any rocket science to it really, and there's no, as I said before, no rules. Now I think that probably needs just a smidgen off. Now you can make what like a little a signature where bits stick out over the top and from the side, but I'm not doing that today, so I'm happy with that. So I'm going to use a piece in both signatures, and I may cut this one down instead of folding it, because I don't want them all identical. So let's see, let's cut a little bit off the side there, and off the bottom. So what you don't want is it to be, well, I don't want mine to stick out bottom, top or the side, but you may want to have yours doing that. So then I've got this little scrap of scrapbook paper, so that is going to go in one. I'm just folding that over. And I've got this is also scrapbook paper. Let's put this down. So So this, and I'm not worried about the white. I'm not limiting myself to just the white. So let's see how that fits. Okay, so what we could do with the bottom is we can fold the bottom up to the top. Actually, that's a little bit ragged there, so I'm just going to even that. Oh, sorry, I've had to drop the other one. Well, I knocked it over. It's because everything's positioned just so. So, move that to one side. Okay. So what I'm going to do is fold that up, and we can have a double pocket on that one, rather than waste too much of it. And then I'm just going to cut that down, or I could have a pocket and a side tuck. Now I'd quite like doing that, so I'm just going to slip down there my fold for the pocket, because I find otherwise the pockets don't line up properly when you fold it over. So that just releases that centre there like that, and then you can we won't stick it down now, but what I'm going to do, because it's wide, I'm going to take this side and I'm going to, I just need to, probably need to trim it once I've folded it, so I'm going to fold it there and along there, and then just trim. See, when you undo it, it opens out. It's fine, but when you fold it, it's showing, see, and I don't like that, so I'm just going to tidy that up. So that's one side, and I'm going to do the same this side. That's much better, that one. And then I'm just going to take a tiny bit out. Again, it's like a little triangular, kind of go from the edge here. So if I show you, well, you probably know what to do. I'm sure I'm teaching, what is the term? What's the saying? Teaching you to suck it? I don't know. Anyway, forget I said anything. So that's another signature there. Feature one. I'll put that over there. Right. Got this lovely floral paper, book page. So again, I'm going to cut it in half, or we can tear it. Let's get the tear ruler and tear it so they keep chopping it down. And so I need to, let's see if we can do both of them together. Going to put one in each because they're not the same top and bottom. So I'm going to, let's have a look. So we want, I don't know, we do it this way round, flatten that out. Might take a sliver off the top because it's a bit raggedy, it's old. There and there, and where's my edge? About there, I think. Let's see if this works. Or it might be a utter disaster. Trying to keep them straight. Some of these old book pages are not straight anyway. I don't think I'll use those. I'm taking tiny smidgen off the top. This is probably boring for you, which is why I'm only doing the one kind of thing. And then I've probably chopped off my mark now. So my mark was, oh, I see, it's there, right. Okay, get them together. They don't have to be equal. 2 signatures. Right, got some coffee dyed paper. It's a bit raggedy, but never fear, because we're going to fold it and we're tearing it down. Like so. And this is going to be a little bit fragile, I think. We could make that into top pocket either side. All I'm doing is folding that over, and then it's a bit raggedy, isn't it? Just take that top off. I don't like that. So they don't all have to be the same size unless you want them to be. For some reason the camera stopped. Right, so I was just preparing this one, so I'm going to make this into top pocket here and here, so when it goes in I shall glue it there and there. So that's one, and let's see if we can get another one out of this. Let's have a look at it, because I could probably get a sheet out of there, just a single sheet that's not so ragged. I think when you dye papers, in my experience, the dyeing process changes the texture of the paper, some of it, not saying all of it, and some of it then becomes quite fragile. So that's another signature. So let's see, I've got these 2 sheets that are only one-sided that have been printed. So I've got that as a back and that as a front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut those to size off camera, and I'll glue one to the other side of the other one. So I'll put those up there. Got some book page here. Okay, so I know my journal is 4.5 inches, so let's see. All I need to do is find my gauge, so I'm going to do it a bit taller and take that edge off. And there's another one, and do the same with this. So Paddy can hear someone outside. Honestly, he thinks that he's, you know, nobody should come near our house. Right, what else have we got here? So we've got some scrapbook pages, 8x8s, and I'm kind of going for kind of a neutral sort of theme, if you haven't already noticed. So I'm going to cut this one down. Just going to do 4 and 4, and three. So there's one each. I might not put that one in the other one. I don't want everything matching. So let's find one for the other signature. So we've got another one here. That's pretty. So let's fold it. Like so. And that one can go in like that, I think. Smaller one. So I'm leaving the ones I don't want to use out. Let me see, what else have I got? Oh, I've got these 2 sort of neutral kind of cards, which will be nice to go in. one for each one. I like the colours. They're sort of autumnal really, I think. So maybe this will turn into an autumnal journal. We don't know yet. So, Paddy, just ignore him. Maybe, let's see. What size is this? This is, I like inches myself. This is sort of just under 6 inches, so I'm wondering whether we can make that one into a double pocket. That would be nice. So that's one there. And this one, we will just cut down. I don't know what's happening with my phone. It's actually keeps stopping. Okay, so it's not me, it's my phone. So I'll just do another. I don't know whether it's this chopper that's affecting it. So I'm just going to show you what I'm going to put in the signatures. I've got a piece of this for each one that I'll cut down. Let's see what else I've got. Oh, I've got some Tim Holtz wallpaper, and I thought I'd put one of those each in each one. That one's torn, but we're going to cut it down anyway. Couple of smaller but scrapbook pads. So that's a pretty one with some birds on and some butterflies and forest sort of creatures. Then there's some craft paper and another piece scrap. Got a piece of paper that I've dyed, well, sprayed with different sprays, but I thought that would fit in. Let's see, what else have we got? Some more scrapbooks, page scraps there, sort of a greeny themed. Some more book page here, holder stuff that's a nice colour. Piece of this digital what do they call it? Manuscript sort of paper. Some music paper we've cut down. Another bit of scrapbook paper that I will use. Sorry about that, it just went off again. Okay, and just various bits like that. So there's another bit of scrapbook, another piece. These are all sort of nice autumnal kind of colours, I think. And another piece of this. So I'll do all those off camera because it's playing up, obviously. I don't know whether it's overheating or what's happened. And then I'll in the next episode I'll come back with the signatures all chopped up ready to go, and then we can start embellishing. Okay, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed that and it gave you some inspiration to make your own kind of mini journal. And I will see you again soon. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.